Yeah, mic on, watch me, zone in. Queenie talk slick, let the show begin. Movies, music's real talk, the mix. Throwing gems while I'm breaking down flicks. Crown up high, you know what it mean. Culture, comedy, and everything in between. Hit play, sit back, it's a whole new scene. Bow to the vibe, it's the reign of Queenie. Hi everyone. Have you ever looked at a family online and thought they have the perfect life, the perfect vacations, the smiling children, the inspirational Facebook posts, the viral photographs? Now imagine discovering that almost every image was hiding something much darker. Today's documentary isn't about a mysterious crime. It's about 6 children who repeatedly asked adults for help, and no one truly protected them. Welcome back to Queen Diva's podcast. I'm your host, Queenie, and today I'm reviewing Broken Harts that is currently streaming on HBO Max. Now, before I begin, I want to give a quick warning. This episode discusses child abuse, neglect, starvation, suicide, and the deaths of innocent children. If those topics are difficult for you, please take care of yourself. Now, let's get into this review. I actually remember hearing about this case back in 2018. Like most people, I only knew the headlines. 2 adoptive mothers, 6 children, a vehicle driven off a California cliff. It sounded impossible. Why would anyone do something like this? After watching Broken Hearts, I realized the crash wasn't the beginning of the story. It was the ending. The real story had been unfolding for nearly a decade. The documentary opens on California's Highway Number 1. Emergency crews arrive after reports that an SUV had gone over a cliff nearly 80 feet into the rocks below. At first, everyone believes it's a tragic accident, but investigators immediately notice something strange. There are no skid marks, no evidence of braking, no attempt to avoid driving off the edge. As more evidence is collected, that accident quickly becomes something much darker. Investigators eventually determine Jennifer Hart deliberately accelerated to nearly 90 miles per hour before driving the family's SUV off the cliff. The children had sedating medications in their systems. Jennifer had been drinking, and the evidence pointed towards something investigators never expected: a murder-suicide. Just hearing that gave me chills. One thing this documentary does extremely well is showing how carefully the Hart family's public image was created. If you looked at Jennifer's Facebook page, you'd probably think that they were the perfect family. We have road trips, camping, hugs, birthday celebrations, happy children, inspirational captions. Jennifer became known online as a mother who had saved 3 black kids and 3 Hispanic kids through adoption. And then there's probably the image most people remember: Devontae Hart. She is seen hugging a police officer during a Ferguson protest. That photograph shared across the world. Millions saw it, and I was one of them. Very few people knew what was happening after the camera stopped rolling. That picture means something completely different after watching this documentary. As investigators began looking backward, the documentary revealed something breathtaking. This wasn't one missed warning sign. It was 2 of them. It was years of them. Teachers noticed bruises, doctors noticed developmental concerns, friends became uncomfortable, neighbors discussed disturbing behavior. One child jumped from a second-story window trying to escape. Multiple CPS reports were filed, and still those 6 children remain in that home. That was probably the hardest realization for me. Not that something horrible happened, but that so many people tried to stop it. The person I found myself thinking about the most was Devontae, not because of the famous photograph, but because of what happened just 2 weeks before the crash. The documentary explained how Devontae quietly started asking neighbors for food. He would ask for bread, tortillas, peanut butter, anything, not for himself, but for his brothers and sisters. Imagining carrying that responsibility. As a child, you're hungry, your siblings are hungry, and you're secretly trying to feed everyone while pretending everything is okay. That absolutely broke my heart. Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying today's episode. If you're loving these deep dives into movies, documentaries, TV shows, and everything pop culture, don't forget to subscribe to the Queenie Biz podcast. You can follow me on Spotify for the full podcast experience. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for full-length video reviews and exclusive content. And also join the conversation over on my Instagram at Queenie Biz Podcast, where I share behind the scenes updates, polls, and sneak peeks of upcoming episodes. Every follow, like, comment, and subscription helps this channel continue to grow, and I truly appreciate every single one of you. Now, let's jump into today's episode. Another child I couldn't stop thinking about was Hannah. She literally escaped. She jumped from a second-story window, ran to the neighbors, begged them not to send her back. She said she was being abused. Can you imagine how terrified she must have been? Unfortunately, she was returned home. Watching that part honestly made me emotional because I kept asking myself, what if someone had stepped right in? Would those kids still be here today? This documentary isn't only criticizing Jennifer and Sarah, it's asking much bigger questions. How did CPS investigations in multiple states fail? Why were biological relatives overlooked? Why were repeated abuse reports dismissed? Why were children believed less than adults? One detail that really surprised me was learning how some biological family members didn't even find out about the kids' deaths until months later. Imagine losing your family and learning about it through news reports instead of authorities. That's heartbreaking. So, my thoughts watching Broken Harts made me incredibly uncomfortable. Not because it was graphic, because it showed how ordinary this family looked from the outside. It reminded me how dangerous it can be to assume social media reflects reality. I also found myself wondering about Sarah Hart. The documentary paints Jennifer as a more dominant personality, while Sarah is often described as quieter and someone who tried to keep the peace. We can never know exactly what happened inside that relationship. It's possible there were unhealthy dynamics between the adults as well. But one thing remains true. Both women had a responsibility to protect those innocent kids, and they failed them. The biggest question I kept asking myself while watching this documentary was, how many warning signs are enough? Because these children weren't silent. They spoke, teachers spoke, neighbors spoke, friends spoke, medical professionals raised concerns, reports were filed, and somehow it still wasn't enough. That is what has stayed with me long after the credits rolled. This documentary receives 10 out of 10 Queenie Crowns. Not because it's entertaining, not because it's easy to watch, but because it's one of the most important documentaries I've seen in a long. It doesn't shed easy on the tragedy. Instead, it gives 6 children something they deserved all along, their voices. As I wrap up today's episode, I don't want us to remember this case simply as a Hart family tragedy. I want us to remember the children. Marcus, Hannah, Abigail, Devontae, Jeremiah, and Sierra. They deserved safety. They deserved to grow up. They deserved adults who listened. Most of all, they deserved better. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you've watched Broken Harts, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe the system failed these children? What part of the documentary affected you the most? Let's have a respectful discussion in the comments because this case involves real people and imaginable loss. If you enjoyed today's review, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and follow Queen Diva podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, guys, stay kind, take care of one another, and I will see you on the next episode. And also, I would like to say happy birthday to my mom. Her birthday just passed on Wednesday, and we had a great time celebrating her birthday. And my birthday is actually next week, so I will be enjoying all my freebies and enjoy all the free stuff I can get from all these restaurants. Thank you guys. Bye. Enjoy your weekend. Ayo, crown still glowing as I dip out slow. Queenie dropped heat, now you already know. Keep your head high, let the world hear you speak. I'm back next time, same vibe next week. So stream that, dream that, keep it lit. You've been rocking with the queen, every word on beat. Till next time, stay loud, stay fly. Queenie out. Now let that beat ride.